bounce it and reset the pact.
Okay.
Interesting indeed. He is down a game, however, so he has 2 languishes as a sweeper against Elvish Rally, and I think he'll definitely need those. A third one out of the board. Postboard, though, does have 2 self-inflicted wounds, 4 Farika's cures. He should have some game here.
Den Protector is going to unmorph here for Braatz. It'll get a counter, and it'll be returning something in just a moment. See the light totals here, 14 to 18 in favor of Maine. The Elite and the Den Protector will trade. A little bit of damage will come through. The records here for each player: Braatz 10-2-1, Maine 10-3, both still in top 8 contention.
Maine needs a win here. Braatz may have a loss to give.
There's an Anafenza for Maine. He'll pass the turn back.
And we've seen this out of the Elves deck earlier when Ethan Pellinger was running it, that frequently post-board against removal-style decks, they go toward Anafenzas and just more of a, I guess, a poor man's Obzon deck.
Yeah, just playing more of a normalized game is how Maine's trying to beat Braatz here. Well, let's see what Braatz can do, because he's certainly behind on the board right now and currently down a game. Not a lot in his favor at this point. Looks like he has a Jace. Well, that's not a bad place to start if you're playing catch-up. The question now is what comes after that. Looks like it's going to be Void Snare.
Yeah, those Void Snares mentioned were put in the deck to reset Demonic Pacts. That's one of their functions. They can be used this way as well. So you know it's not a typical inclusion in Sultai decks.
Yeah, when you've got Demonic Pact in your deck, your hand's a little bit forced on what you can do.
Void Snare is a card, remember this is the last week for it as well. Been a pretty big fan of it. I thought it was a little underplayed in Standard. For 1 mana, this is the right mana cost to move. But it really hasn't been a format about tempo. I think that's why we haven't seen this.
Yeah, we've certainly seen formats that are about tempo. That's why Vapor Stack was so good in its time.
Yeah, the hand and the graveyard were the same place. All you cared is that the card wasn't on the board. That certainly when we have these Obzon mirrors, that's not the case at all. You care about cards in hand and cards in graveyard. And they're 2 different places.
Braatz looks like he's going to activate Jace. I don't think the O2 is attacking. So we'll see what he wants to discard off the Jace activation. Looks like it's going to be an island. Jace will flip now to the Telepath Unbound. 5 counters to start.
So now we have to look at what Sam Braatz has in his yard. Looks like he has at least a Hero's Downfall. I like this. Leading with Thoughtseize. Perhaps he'd need to Thoughtseize a second time. He does not.
Going to take care of Anafenza. Jace is going down. Languish is clearing it all up. And you have to like his position right now. Maine only has a land in hand.
An on-board Jace versus an empty board should be good, but look at the draw from Andrew Maine.
Yeah,
Rally Ancestor is pretty perfect here.
Rally was the draw. The question is, what's going on in the graveyard?
We have some Satyr Wayfinders, some Dwynen's. I believe we have some. We just have a lot of Dwynen's Elites, which is not bad. We have an Elvish Visionary.
The problem here is there's no Shaman in the pack.
Right, so it wouldn't win. He could get a lot of 1/1 Elves to be there permanently.
I'm just going to pass the turn back.
Very little counter magic out of Braatz, so Andrew can end step this rally.
Jace is going up. There's Demonic Pact.
So Demonic Pact, the choices you have on upkeep. Deal 4, gain 4, draw 2, your opponent discards 2, and lose the game.
So here's Rally.
So, Elvish Mystic, Dwinnen's Elite. Another Dwinnen's Elite, an Elvish Visionary.
There's potential for a lot to happen here. Now, these are all going to die at the beginning of the next upkeep, so he's not going to be able to get to attack and win with this. But does he get to draw a card? Yes. Does he get to make 2 elves? Yes. Does he get to Satyr Wayfinder? Yes. So there's a lot to like here.
All right, so we get a land. We're going to get 2/1/1 elves and a card. Doesn't win, but it's strong. The downside to this is that now the graveyard will be empty, so if he does end up getting a Shaman of the Pack in there, it won't be as juicy.
Oh, there's your Satyr Wayfinder. So 3 lands and a Rally. Looks like Andrew wants a basic forest. Rest will go to the graveyard.
Those will all get exiled at the beginning of his upkeep.
Yep.
Ideally, the Elvish Rally deck rallies back Shaman of the Packs and Siege Rhinos.
There's a Temple. Satyr Wayfinder on top. It's going to the bottom now.
So the 2/1/1s can knock Jace down a bit. By end stepping there, Jace's plus ability was targetless. So Andrew gets an extra point of damage off his elves.
Demonic Pack time. What mode are we selecting is the question.
Well, it depends on what he thinks is in Andrew's hand. Andrew passed with a lot of cards in hand. The guess is that those ones are losers. So Sam is going to start by picking the draw 2, which seems like the most powerful of the 3 choices.
So 1 mode down. 3 more to go.
Yeah, we're gonna 3 to go. Hopefully less than 3 to go.
Well, for Sam, yeah.
Den Protector here should be just fine. Then it can get, in a pinch, it can get back Void Snare and reset the Demonic Pact.
Den Protector is pretty good here. There's a Murderous Cut, I believe, to go after the Den Protector.
How slow does he want to be? Do we Den Protect back Den Protectors? Or does he go for something else? I believe he just has another Protector in the graveyard. It's an easy choice here.
Yeah, there's the choice.
But by Murderous Cutting that, what Andrew gained is he took care of Sam's blocker, so he can get rid of Jace this turn. Now, can the Den Protector in Sam's hand bring back Den Protector and then eventually get back Jace? Yes, so this is all temporary.
Well, Jace ticked up to take care of an elf, so Andrew can knock Jace back down to 1, but he won't be able to actually finish it off. So
oh, you're right.
he doesn't
So
get to make a lot. Yeah, he
board.
doesn't get to make a lot of headway on the Jace. The Jace will keep fluctuating between 1 and 2, so the flashback is under control. But as far as actually getting Jace off the battlefield, seems to be unlikely at this point. Thoughtseize shows you a hand with Void Snare, Hero's Downfall, and Ugin.
It's a lot of action. Andrew's sitting on a hand of nothing. He played the last card, which was a forest.
The Pact will take care of an elf token.
And Sam already has the Void Snare. I think what Andrew was hoping for there was that if Sam didn't actually have the Void Snare in hand yet, there was a chance that by killing one Den Protector and Thoughtseizing the other, that Andrew could get Sam to kill himself with Demonic Pact. That was an out he could play to. But now that he's seen the Void Snare, that's not possible.
Yeah, and Sam, in this situation, as you see him playing a Satyr Wayfinder, he'll get an island. He can't get greedy here, because this could be really bad. So he's got a Void Snare now and replay Demonic Pact, I believe.
Right, doesn't want to get Thoughtseized and then lose the game.
Yeah.
He may Void Snare and simply not recast it if he wants to be very safe. Looks like he is going to go for the recast.
Well, by nature, if you're playing Demonic Pact,
right,
you're not a very safe human.
Right, the reason you would not recast it is if you think you're so overwhelmingly ahead on the board that that's the only way you could possibly imagine losing. But I agree. If you're playing Demonic Pact in your deck, it's because you want to cast it.
Oh, there's Elvish Mystic. Pass the turn back.
Yeah, in a pinch here, Sam's Ugin even provides an answer to Demonic Pact,
Yep.
and he's almost had enough mana for it.
1 mana short at this point. Hero's Downfall, Ugin in hand. Looks like Sam's going to draw 2. And now he gets to take another one for his draw step. So that's one mode down on the Pact.
Especially on this kind of board, you notice him leading off with the divinations. For 4 mana, even if you only get the draw 2 and then the drain ability, that's quite the punch for 2 and 2 black.
Opulent Palace has arrived.
There's the 8th land for Ugin. And Sam appears to have this one under control. He does have to watch out for some combination of drain creatures and rally the ancestors coming from Andrew.
I like his positioning a lot.
Because Andrew's first rally knocked out all the elves in his graveyard, even a well-timed rally could fall short at this point. Be interested to see just how much Andrew wants to battle this out. 1650 remains in the round, and it looks like they're headed to game 3.
Yeah, so I would be surprised if Andrew's able to come back and win this one. It would take a perfect string of draws, and I think he's reliant on Demonic Pact to actually kill Sam. So I am curious about how much longer he wants to play this out, because it's not a 0%er, but it's pretty low.
Right. See Andrew trading away his creatures. I mean, Ugin and Sam's hand will do a great job of closing this one out, and especially for Sam, a player with 1 draw already. He doesn't want a second one. I think he wants to try to win a game 3. Would imagine we'll see Ugin.
All right, there's Nissa.
All right, she'll get a forest. She'll get to flip immediately. Not a bad play.
Yeah, it's perfectly reasonable. Issue here, of course, is that Sam is sitting on that Hero's Downfall in hand.
Yeah, he's staying on Hero's Downfall. He has the mana up for it. On top of that, he even has Ugin in his hand. He could just Ugin on -0 if she flips. Now, a little bit of a punchline here is that I don't believe there was a basic forest left in Andrew's deck.
Aha.
So Nissa is not flipping this turn.
That is a touch awkward. No land to search help with Nissa. So there will be no flip. There will be no Hero's Downfall necessary. And now Dig Through Time is done resolving here for Sam.
And Sam just with everything. Counter spells, planeswalkers, removal spells. He's fighting the clock at this point. Demonic Pact takes care of the Nissa. And he has everything. He has the planeswalkers. He has the removal spells. He has the cards in hand.
Yeah, it's tick-tock goes the clock now. Jace up to 4. Slow down the elf.
Interesting. I like the inclusion of Demonic Pact here, though, in this Sultai control deck. Just playing it for value.
Yeah, I mean, you have to make some weird inclusions into the deck, as he's going to play another one of these. You have to make some strange inclusions in the deck like Void Snare, but you've got Den Protector to rebuy Void Snare, and that's fine, and Ugin is kind of the ultimate reset button, and now Andrew May's going to concede the game because he knows he's not going to be able to come back from 2 copies of Demonic Pact. So Sam Braatz is going to win game number 2. Sultai Control and Elvish Rally will get ready here for game number 3, with about, I imagine, 13 minutes to go by the time they shuffle up and present.
Yeah, so looking at the sideboards, remember, we joined this in game 2. What Sam has done with his deck is he's boarded in an extra Languish, and looks like some number of copies of Disdainful Stroke to take care of cards like Court of Calling and Rally the Ancestors. I don't know whether he's gone to Farika's Cure. That's a very interesting card here. It takes care of some of the early elves, Dwynen's Elite, even Shaman of the Pack. But at the same time, boarding in 2 mana removal to deal with Rally's creatures may not be the way to attack the deck. They utilize the graveyard very well.
Well, on the other side of things here from Maine, he's got 4 Roshan Clerics, certainly not for this matchup. 3 Thoughtseize, 2 Anaffense of the Foremost. We know those are in. Murderous Cut's in as well. There's also an Ultimate Price, a Minister of Pain, a Reclamation Sage, a Whip of Erebos. We haven't seen that card for a while. And Dramoka's Command.
And that one's interesting. Cards like Reclamation Sage is, I figure should be decent against a Demonic Pact deck. You can snag the Demonic Pact before Sam ever gets an activation off it. That's got to be a win in Andrew's camp.
Well, we'll see how they want to sideboard. They're going to get ready here very quickly for game number 3. So we'll very quickly talk about the Star City Games newsletter. It is your source for Magic the Gathering news. You can get the latest on the SCG Open Series, watch the Open Series Match of the Week, receive exclusive deck lists and advice this month from Gerard Fabiano, catch up on all the event results, both Open Series, Grand Prix, and Pro Tours, and read an exclusive cardboard crack comic. Best of all, it is free to sign up for. StarCityGames.com/newsletter. Get signed up today. We already know you're going to be on the internet anyway, so you might as well add this to your list of things to do during the week. Again, StarCityGames.com/newsletter. Sign up for free as we get ready here for game number 3 between Sam Braatz and Andrew Maine. Both these players very much in top 8 contention. A draw is not something that either one of them are looking for, especially Sam. So we might see a little bit of speed magic here.
It's interesting how fast the Sultai control deck can win. We saw there Sam was in command for most of the game, but winning was not quick for him. So certainly will favor Andrew. Now, the Elvish Rally deck's been interesting to me here, especially after seeing Matthew Tickle play 4-color Rally yesterday. That was certainly a deck where every time he cast Rally the Ancestors, it was incredible. It was the best card in the deck. We've seen some of the Rally the Ancestors really fall flat in the Elf Rally deck. You know, Andrew rallied back 6 or 7 creatures that game, but was not able to take it down. It's a lot more of a mid-range deck, just with some high upside spells. That said, what I do like about it is that when players try to go on the all-kill spell plan against you, the deck's very resilient to that.
Both players take a look at the opener. Looks like a little under 12 minutes to begin. And maybe even a little less because Maine has to take a mulligan.
Maine's hand was very good creature-wise. He had Elvish Visionaries into Shaman of the Pax and Dwynen's Elites. Unfortunately, all his mana sources were Caves of Koilos, which I'm pretty sure a non-green hand just is a no-go for this deck.
You know, mulliganing with this amount of time never feels good, but I think that hand is one that you have to mulligan instead of trying to maybe try to get a little lucky. I like a mulligan there. And in normal circumstances, you would mulligan that hand. We're not quite normal circumstances, but I think there is enough time where you can take a mulligan, you can play a little bit quicker, and hopefully you can find a 6-card hand that works.
Your 6 down, 0 lands.
That one did not work.
Rally is capable of coming back from a mull to 5. They do play cards like Elvish Visionary, which allow you to do things in the early turns while making your land drops. Then you can rally them back for extra card advantage. Obviously, no deck wants to start out on 5, but this one still functions. We've seen some good mulls to 5 anyway. Earlier, Michael Burnett took a mull to 5 with blue-white control, easily defeating mono-red.
He could have mulled a 4-3 or 2. The way he crushed that game, yeah, he didn't need very many cards. Jeez. That was a laugher, that mull to 5, how easily Burnett won.
He never went below 12 against Burn. I think it drove home the point where his opponent end-stepped a Wild Slash, and Michael Burnett just said, okay, Radiant Fountain, go.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, well, there's one card taken care of.
Here's an Elvish Mystic for Maine. Temple Deceit is where Sam will start. Top card goes to the bottom. We're underway here in game number 3. Satyr Wayfinder looking to find a land. Rally Ancestors, Elvish Visionary, another rally, and the Wayfinder did something it rarely does.
Sometimes when you're in a mull to 4, your deck decides you should mulligan again by playing a 1/1 for 2.
Yeah. There's Jace.
Putting 2 rallies in the graveyard suggests that Andrew doesn't have one in hand.
Here come the beatdowns.
It's not that if Andrew had some white mana in play and a rally in hand, this actually isn't the worst graveyard for him. He does have a rally in hand, but he has Rally, Siege Rhino, I believe, is his remaining cards. 2 lands off casting either of those. So on the mull to 5, I'm not sure this one's going to come together to mount much of a threat. On Sam's side, he just has to make sure his own pace of play is high enough.
Yeah, I agree. There's the Thoughtseize.
Yeah. Rhino, Rally. This actually was a pretty good 5-card hand for Andrew Maine.
Yeah, no, not bad. I mean, if he was able to actually find a land that helped him cast Siege Rhino, Satyr Wayfinder, we might have a little something going here.
Right, say that Satyr Wayfinder finds a temple, would be pretty good. 3 rallies now in the bin for Andrew Maine. And draw, that's not a land for Maine.
There's Elvish Mystic.
It's a mana source, but Andrew's not caring about quantity of mana. It's the colors that he has to have.
There's Llanowar Waste. And now Satyr Wayfinder, which makes flipping Jace trivial. 2 Swamps, a Duress, and a Satyr Wayfinder. So Swamp is what Sam will take.
And you just flip the Jace immediately and start going to work on Andrew's hand. Flashback another Thoughtseize.
Yeah, don't mind that.
Though he would lose his Jace for that. He's not under, I guess with Siege Rhino 2 cards away instead of 1 card away, he's not really under that much pressure. He can afford to just plus Jace.
Discarding Languish. Jace flipping, going up. Slow down Wayfinder, pass the turn back. Jace being dominant here. Sansep Citadel the draw.
Yeah, and this, I like this forcing play by Sam. By minusing the Wayfinder, he forces Andrew Maine to attack with Elvish Mystics. He gets to trade a Wayfinder with a Mystic. It's a great trade for Braatz.
Languish was the draw step.
Oh, those creatures gone, yeah.
Yeah. I like where he's at.
Yeah, Languish plus the Jace. It's an empty board. Sam has a Jace on 6.
Shaman to the pack. Ooh, 1. Kaboom.
Seen better ones.
Yeah.
Maine did hit Sandstep Citadel. Remember, his hand is 2 Siege Rhinos. Sam has to be aware of this. It's Andrew's out, to be sure. So Sam can cover against running Siege Rhinos. He should be fine. You see he has a copy of Hero's Downfall in hand alongside Den Protector. Those are all great places to be against multiple Siege Rhinos.
There's a Jace.
Yeah, second Jace, wow. Really not feeling the pressure from Shaman. I do suppose he can -2 the Shaman with the Jace that's in play and block it with the other Jace.
Yep.
He knows he has perfect information on Maine's hand. Yeah, and he's not used Jace yet this turn. Player's confirming that.
Slow down the Shaman. Pass the turn back. Does Andrew Maine find what's necessary to cast a Siege Rhino? Jamoka's command was the draw. Even that one's not all that exciting.
No, at least lets him attack the Jace Telepath. He could fight away Vryn's Prodigy. Now he has a 2/3.
I've seen worse.
Wonder if he's going at the Planeswalker, just at Sam. I'll go the Planeswalker. At some point, he may decide that his way to winning is to deal damage and start trying to, using these Siege Rhinos as lightning bolts.
And is he accomplishing a lot by going after Jace? It certainly doesn't feel that way.
Right.
I think this is exactly what Sam wants to happen to his Jace, which is, yeah, pay attention to this while I just keep developing. There's Hero's Downfall. Jace will tick up.
Sam, you see the card shuffled to the front of his hand is a copy of Disdainful Stroke.
There's the Elite. But just a 2/2. Doesn't even bring an elf along with it.
Right, and as a 2/2, Jace can take care of it while ticking up toward that ultimate. Sam drawing Sultai Charm for the turn.
He's got a Morph and Den Protector.
Den Protector's great here. He still has Disdainful Stroke in case Andrew draws that untapped land for the Rhinos. Seems to have him covered at every turn.
All right. Not the best attack I've ever seen. Unless Andrew really wants that Elite
it was
in the
a
graveyard.
0/2,
yeah.
right.
Unless he really wants that Elite in the graveyard.
I mean, he may, actually. It may be better in the graveyard.
Yeah, because it is a rally deck.
Yeah. There are 3 rallies in the graveyard, to be fair, so that's problematic if we're on the have a great rally turn line. But if that is the line you're on, to draw your 1 of rally, hope it doesn't get countered, rally back your team, I guess I would want Twin's Elite in the yard.
Thoughtseize will show you a Sidisi and 2 Siege Rhinos.
Those cards are all so far off. Jace goes to 8.
player finish your turn, and there are 5 additional turns.
More. This fourth rally that Andrew hasn't drawn yet, and somehow miraculously resolves, keeps getting better. But
Round 14.
Yeah, it just got a little better.
Yeah.
Sultan Charm taking care of the elite there. But even if he does draw the fourth rally, there's just a disdainful stroke at the ready.
Exactly.
Temple, top card. Gonna stay on top. Sam's got about 2 minutes and some extra turns to get this done with, but he's got to find a way to get it over. His deck does not close very fast.
Yeah, I mean, he can get a Jace Ultimate, which certainly gives him some inevitability, but I mean, that wins the game. Andrew gets to decide how fast that card wins the game.
He'll pass. Yep. Activate it.
So it's at 9. We could get a Jace Emblem next turn.
Here's Siege Rhino, going to get countered immediately.
Yeah. Disdainful strokes it, and Den protects back the Disdainful stroke. He knows if Sidisi resolves, that Sidisi would go and get Rally.
So this Jay says whenever you cast a spell, target opponent puts the top 5 cards of his or her graveyard to his or her library. So we'll see if he wants to go damage or if he wants to go emblem. And by playing the spell pre-emblem leads me to believe that he's looking to go damage.
Yeah. Having Andrew at 12, he has plenty of time to win this. This is 2 attacks from Den Protectors.
There's Wayfinder. Den Protector doesn't care about that, so top 4 cards.
They are not able to block it. So at this point, if Andrew ever were to resolve a rally, it looks like it would be lethal. He now has the second white for it.
No, I mean, if Rally somehow resolved, it would be great.
Yeah. Tons of Shamans, Siege Rhinos, Dwinnen's Elites all filling up the graveyard.
I just don't foresee that happening.
Yeah, the fact that, first of all, Sam has it covered in a counterspell. Second of all, that first Satyr Wayfinder of the game for Andrew Maine milled 2 copies of his rally. So it's even that much more unlikely that he were to top deck it.
Den Protector unmorphing. Could be a 2-turn clock here.
See what the card he wants to get back is. Looks like it's just going to be Hero's Downfall. More so, he just wants to have the 3/2 Den Protector.
Yeah. 12 to 6, 6 to 0, I imagine is the plan.
There's the first half, 12 to 6. No blocks, Wayfinder's unable to do it. We have a Downfall, we have a Disdainful Stroke. Last card in Andrew's hand, both players know it's Sidisi Undead Vizier. Sam doesn't care about that one.
Yeah, Disdainful Stroke's got that on lock.
Deciding if he needs to do anything with Jace. I mean, he'll, at very least, he'll plus it.
Looks like he's going to make an emblem. Sam is turn 0, so Andrew's turns 1, 3, and 5 if he gets to use all of them. Sam is turn 2 and 4.
And turn 2 is looking like it's going to be the last turn at the moment, unless Andrew can mount something really impressive.
Well, there's the Jace emblem. And now there's a new Jace. Mill for 5. And now he'll pass. Andrew Maine will draw. Sidisi in hand. Picked up a land. He'll cast Sidisi. Probably going to get countered.
He knows about the Disdainful Stroke. That plays a Temple.
Yep. And that'll be his last turn of this game. And he says, I'll mill you for 5 with the Jace. But at this point, none of it matters. These 2 players are having fun, and they'll shake hands. Sam Braatz going to win this match over Andrew Maine, 2 games to 1. Sultai Control will take care of Elvish Rally. For Braatz, he moves on to 11-2-1. He'll have to win next round. Don't think he can draw in the top 8, given his record, but we will see soon enough.
Congratulations to Braatz there. Sultai Control, now 11-2-1. Suspect that should be good enough for the top 8.